Look at the list of comic book movies that are coming out in 2016. They're making a Deadpool movie, Batman vs. Superman, Captain America Civil War. 2016 is going to be the best year ever. 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 That was a piece of shit. How's it going, everybody? Welcome. I'm Joe Fisher from Multiversatile, and today we have a special installment as we're going to review the comic book movies of 2016. Now, 2016 gave us kind of a mixed bag of movies, so today we're going to literally reach into a mixed bag and review those movies. And today's especially special because we're joined by our two new contributors out in Colorado Springs, Jeff Krieger.
Oh, hey guys. Greetings from Colorado.
And over in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Casey Kelderman.
Hey Joe, thanks for having me on. I'm super excited to see what 2016 got me this year. It hasn't been the best year for 2016, but we're going to end it great here. I know it with these presents.
Now let me tell you how this is going to work. We're going to go around the circle. Each of us has a mixed bag, and inside of that mixed bag is an item, a gift, if you will, that represents the movie that we're going to be talking about. We'll tell you what the movie is, pull from the bag, give you our review explaining why that item represents the movie. Now, let's get started. Jeff, why don't you go first?
Well, alright. Thanks for having me, guys. Let's see what I got in my bag here. Ugh. The Walking Dead. Never heard of that. I'll probably flop. Let's see here. Call of Duty. Don't know what the fuck that is. Who gives a shit? What's this? Who's this guy? Ah, Deadpool. The merc with the mouth. The regenerating degenerate. You know, they made a movie about him recently. It came out in February 2016. Thought it was a really great movie. Thought Ryan Reynolds did a really good job with the character. The director, everybody on board, they really stayed close to the source material, which was huge. Comic books very rarely do that. A lot of inside jokes about the Marvel Universe and about the studio and the process of getting the movie made, which was a painstaking process. But they did it, man. They really did fan service for the movie, and I thought it was great. I was a little disappointed in the casting of the villain. I thought the guy who played Ajax was good. He was awesome on Game of Thrones, too. But I thought Ajax was a pretty weak character. I mean, Deadpool is, you know, obviously the rights to Wolverine are not theirs, or not that studio's anyway. But there's a lot of other villains that aren't owned by any other studio that they could have used. You know, they could have used Cable, but spoiler alert, I think he's going to be in the second one. You know, Cable, they could have used Taskmaster. You know, Weasel was awesome. Blind Owl was great. But they didn't use, you know, Hydra Bob. That would have been great. That would have been awesome. You know, granted, they're probably going to make, you know, a couple different movies, but, you know, they could have debuted a little stronger in the villain area. I thought that the fact that they kind of poked fun at the X-Men universe because the studios refused to intermingle with their characters, I thought that was great. I thought it was really well done. Hilarious movie, as Deadpool should be. They were able to give it an R rating, which was great. Yeah, I mean, I'd give it a solid, me being a huge Deadpool fan, I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10. I mean, there was a couple drawbacks, but I loved it. I'd watch it a million times. I have. So, yeah. So what else did you guys get?
All right. It looks like a Batman Funko Pop. All right. I can dig that. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Martha! Martha!
Marsha!
So Batman vs. Superman came out in March of 2016. It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I was super excited for it. It's based on the acclaimed Frank Miller graphic novel, The Dark Knight Returns, which I have right here. So it's based on that, so what could go wrong with this? That first trailer was absolutely amazing. One of my favorite trailers of all time. Tell me, do you bleed? You will. I was pumped for this superhero showdown. Finally, Batman, Superman, one-on-one in their first movie together. What could go wrong? This movie could go wrong. So what happens in this movie that I do not like? Let's see. Lex Luthor, terrible. Jesse Eisenberg, what are you doing? Jolly Ranchers, what is up with that? Doomsday, what a waste. You bring in one of biggest Superman's arch nemesis, and you completely ruin it in Superman's second film. Wonder Woman, what a waste. Why is she even in this movie? Aquaman, Flash, why are all these Justice League people in here in the first place? No reason. It's just to set up the next movie. Batman, Superman. Superman does nothing in this movie. He's nothing like Superman at all. Batman, he kills people. Since when does Batman kill people? Okay? Alright guys, so this movie, not my favorite movie of the year by far. It is one of my least favorites. If you haven't seen it, I do not recommend it. I have yet to see the extended cut, which I've heard is better, but it doesn't fix the problems that I have, which include some of the storytelling, super dark elements. I know Batman's always a dark character. Superman's supposed to be a light character. You're supposed to have that collide, not both dark, everyone dies in the end kind of movie. So Batman vs. Superman, terrible movie. The one redeeming quality, and I mean one redeeming quality, is the Batman Arkham fight towards the end where he saves Martha Kent. So Martha brings it up again. Martha, Martha, Martha.
Alright, now for my first movie I have Suicide Squad, so let's look in the bag. Or stuck to the side of the bag, a piece of candy, a sucker to be specific. Looks like it fell on the ground, got stepped on, someone maybe chewed on it. Yeah, that's pretty much Suicide Squad for you. Ugh.
It's cherry.
It looked really sweet. Looked really colorful, looked funny. The trailers we got last winter looked great. And as it led up to the movie, we started to hear some rumors that there were reshoots, editing, all these other things happening that were basically going to change the movie. So, naturally, we start to worry because it's Warner Brothers. And you see, Warner Brothers has developed a history for this. Ugh. Terrible. Because of Batman vs. Superman. And we saw some leaked footage and images of the Joker and Harley Quinn that made the relationship look kind of rocky, abusive. And that can be a little off-putting, but if you go back to Batman the Animated Series, that's kind of what their relationship was like. So, hey, that was a freaking cartoon, right? No big deal. The next thing is the villain. What was up with the villain? It sucked. That villain was horrible. Boring, didn't make sense, really. I mean, Amanda Waller put together a Suicide Squad for a worst-case scenario and then made the worst-case scenario happen. So, the villain was weak, and the movie felt like a 2-hour-long music video, let's be honest. Great music, but constant music, it really takes you out of the movie. So overall, yeah, Suicide Squad, I'm afraid that you go to the land of misfit movies for me. Jeff, back to you.
Alright, thanks dudes. Let me see what else we have here. Probably something dumb. Captain America. Yeah, that is dumb. Boring. Let's see what else we got in here. Iron Man. Even more boring. This sucks. Wait. Check this out. Civil War. Oh, man. Okay, so I said he sucked and I said he sucked and they were both boring. I lied. Civil War was great, and here's why. They took two of the best characters in the modern Marvel universe and put them in a movie together where they fought each other. And it wasn't just bickering back and forth on the Shield helicarrier. It was actual fighting, and it was awesome. I thought that it got a little extreme at times. I thought that some of the fight scenes were a little, kind of got blurry and kind of made me dizzy a little bit, but I'm a huge pussy, so, you know. But I thought that the character development was really well done. Obviously, these characters have been developed over their own franchises and through the Avengers, but I thought that they kind of took it to a whole new level there. And I thought that was really cool. I thought Chris Evans was really great. I thought Robert Downey Jr. was awesome. Fell in love with a broken heart. Yeah, I thought it was great, man. It's awesome. The airport scene specifically was amazing. And here's why. Spoiler alert. Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Black Panther, all of the Avengers just, I mean, going at it. The scene where they kind of ran at each other, man, that was wet dream for a nerd. Got a little emotional at the end, which I thought was cool because it doesn't happen all the time in Marvel movies. They do to a degree, but I mean, Peter Parker's Uncle Ben has died like 46 times, but you know that's because nobody can figure out how to do Spider-Man, even though he's been around forever. Whatever. But yeah, I thought the movie was great. There's a few drawbacks as far as like the action, and it got a little bit slow and confusing almost in a few parts. But if I were to give it out of 10, I would give it a solid 7, definitely. So what else did you guys get?
It's a little small. It's tightly packaged. I like that. What do we got going on here? Alright, so after opening my package, it looks like crushed up blue stuff? I'm not sure. Candy, maybe? We'll try it. Let's see what happens here. I'm not sure what it is. 2016, it's a little bit of a scary place now, so we're going to try it and see what happens here. So, guys, help. Guys, help, please. What just happened there, guys? That was some weird trip we just went on. So I think we're going to be talking about Doctor Strange now, if that's some sort of indication there. So Doctor Strange is the latest Marvel Cinematic Universe film. It's based on the Marvel comic book of the same name, written by Steve Ditko and Stan Lee in the 1960s. And you know what? It's filled with those same acid trip-inducing visuals that those comic books include. So admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of Doctor Strange. I haven't read very many comics of him. The only one I've read is including a Spider-Man one, because Spider-Man's my guy. So this is the only film and only real property that I've ever known Doctor Strange from. And you know what? This movie has made me a fan. So Doctor Strange is the story of a neurological surgeon who breaks his hands in a car accident. And what does the doctor need most? Obviously his hands. So he's going to go try to get them fixed. What he does is go and meet the Ancient One, the Sorcerer Supreme, played by Tilda Swinton, in one of the best performances in any Marvel movie to date. We also have great performances by Chiwetel Ejiofor, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, as I said, Tilda Swinton, even Mads Mikkelsen as the villain in this film is a great performance. So speaking of villains, we got two big villains in this movie. First is Mads Mikkelsen's character of Khaleesi, who is an alright villain as far as Marvel villains go. You know, they're not the greatest. We only have Loki, Thanos is coming, but besides that, there's nothing really big. So as far as Marvel villains goes, Mads Mikkelsen's Khaleesi, he's fine. But the big villain in this movie, the big bad, is Dormammu. So he basically, in the comics, he's just a big character with a flaming head. But in this movie, he's just a giant purple alien who is from a realm that has no time. And you know what this introduces in this movie? The Time Gem. So this is going to play right into Avengers Infinity War. We have one of the last Infinity Stones in this movie. So if you're a fan of, tying all things together, especially leading up to Infinity War, this is the movie for you.
Alright, for the final movie, I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. So let's go to the bag one more time and see what we've got. Volume 1 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the cartoon. Now when I heard they were rebooting this franchise a couple of years ago, I was really excited. because now maybe we could finally see some more of our favorite characters from the cartoon, like Rat King, Krang, Baxter Stockman. And I know what you're thinking. It's supposed to be about comic books. We're all about comic books here. Well, Ninja Turtles did start out as a comic book before it became the popular television series. Now, with the second one, it was especially exciting because we were confirmed to see more of these great characters. Bebop and Rocksteady were going to be a big part of the movie. Krang, Baxter's in it. And they all, to me, did really well. I thought Bebop and Rocksteady were hilarious. Krang was kind of in it for a short period of time at the end, but he was cool. He looked cool. Dimension X seems like it's going to be pretty cool. And really the only weak point for me was Casey Jones. Maybe that's because I was especially excited by the casting of Stephen Amell from Arrow as Casey Jones. I thought that was a good fit. But I think they tried to separate him from his Arrow character too much by not letting him be a crazy sociopathic vigilante, which Casey Jones is about as nuts as they get.
Oh, and that's supposed to be better?
So he was kind of soft. He was a little bit infatuated with April O'Neil, more even than the early 90s version. And he didn't hardly ever wear his big, awesome, freakish goalie mask, which was disappointing. But I think the movie overcame that with Bebop and Rocksteady and all the other things. So I'm especially excited and optimistic to see the third installment of this franchise. God damn it.
What I want to know is, when do we get to break something?
Well, alright guys, let's admit defeat on this one. 2016 was a bit of a letdown. But you know what? We look at the slate for 2017, and I see Wonder Woman. We've got Old Man Logan, a new Spider-Man. I really think that 2017 is going to be the best year ever.